Hi, thank you for watching my channel today. My name's Sarah and my channel is called Your True Shelf. As you can see, I'm filming in a little bit different location and angle today because today I'm making a video about my book trolley, and it's a really time that it had a really good clear up. It's in a bit of a mess. It's not really used for how I wanted it to be used at the moment, and so I just wanted to take everything off, give it a clean, and then sort of have a look what's actually on there and reorganize it so that it's actually more functional for how I want. And I've seen a couple of people do these videos in the past and I've enjoyed watching, so let's crack on and see. So I have 3 shelves. You can't see the bottom one, so I'll have to sort of do some sort of camera thing to to make that happen. So we'll go for the middle shelf first because this is the one that's most visible. This is the shelf at the moment that I've got books that are other people's books on there. So mostly my friend from work who brings books in for me quite regularly, and I need to go through them and see which ones I actually want to read and give them back if I don't want to read them. So let's have a look what's on there. The first book I've got from on the borrowed shelf is The Book of Lost Words by Pip Williams, which I definitely do want to read. This one's quite a new edition, which I actually mentioned on my last haul video, which is a Norwegian book called The Bell in the Lake, and a couple of people in our book club read this and said that they really enjoyed it. 4,000 Weeks by Oliver Burkeman, which is a book about time management, and 4,000 weeks equates to 80 years, so the average life is 4,000 weeks, which when you hear it said like that makes it feel like so short. And then one that is very popular on BookTube, Claire Faber, Small Things Like These. So they're ones that I definitely do want to read, all of those ones. We'll hang on to those. The next one, I'm not sure. So the next one is The Facts of Life by Patrick Gale. I have read a few Patrick Gale books and really enjoyed them before, but this is massive, 650 pages. Let's have a look what it's actually about. So it's about a German composer escaping to England just before the war begins. He gets TB, he's recuperating in hospital, and he meets a young doctor who's battled her way through medical school despite the opposition of her parents. They fall in love and marry, settling in the fenlands of East Anglia. Years later, he watches as his grandchildren trip up against life and death and realises that patterns can repeat themselves. That actually sounds really good. I didn't even know I had this on here. So this is why it's a good time to be doing this. So yes, I would like to read that. This one, I think this is like a true crime, which I'm not really sure. Let me have a look here. So autumn 1929, a young girl is kidnapped from a beach. 5 agonising days go by before she's discovered safe and well in a nearby village. She remembers nothing of these events and nobody ever speaks to them again. Decades later, Laura Cummings delves into the mystery surrounding her mother's disappearance. Examining everything from old photos to letters, tickets and recipes, she uncovers a series of secrets and lies, perpetuated not just by her family but by the whole community, and unlocks a mystery almost a century old. Actually, that sounds really good as well. And that looks actually really easy to read. Right, so that's good. So this is why it's a value to do this. Right, this one is probably a do not read. Sally Vickers, Dancing Backwards. We read a Sally Vickers book, The Librarian, and we didn't really like it. This is another one which I don't think I really want to read. Oh my god, the dust. There's dust like flying around in here. It's gross. So this is a Rose Tremaine book called Music and Silence, but it's set in the 1600s. I don't know that I want to read this. About a lute player in a Danish court. I've had a flick through this one and I don't think I'm going to keep this one. Then got 2 by the same author, Naomi Wood, which I like the covers of these. They're both really nice covers. So this one is Mrs. Hemingway. This is about the different wives of Ernest Hemingway. I think he had 4 wives. So it's set in the 20s in Paris, and starts with his first wife and goes on for the coming decades about the rest of the wives that he has. That sounds good. And then the other one is The Godless Boys, which is an alternative England where the church controls the country and non-believers have been exiled to a remote island. On the island, a group of fierce boys patrols the community, searching for signs of faith and punishing any believers. When a new girl appears, arriving from the mainland to search for her long-lost mother, the gang is split. One boy falls in love with her, another seeks violent revenge. The struggle between them will change everything. That sounds really cool. Yeah, that's going to stay. Right, and then we've still got 6 more on this shelf and an envelope. Okay, the next one I do want to read, so this is from a different friend. This is A Woman in Berlin by an anonymous author, and this is the diary of a woman who's living in Berlin. It's from April 45 to June 45 and describes the falling city as it was sacked by the Russian army. So that is obviously true, and I think the true account of what it must have been like in that time would be fascinating. The next one I definitely want to read as well. So this is talking about Jane Austen in Baghdad, the story of an unlikely friendship by B. Rowlett and May Whitwit. So this is about a lecturer in Iraq, May, who's in wartime Iraq, and B, who's in London, and so they shouldn't have anything in common, but an email brings them together and they basically discover a friendship that overcomes all their differences of culture, religion and age, and that's a true story as well. The bin lorry's just arrived outside, so apologies if you can hear the noise, but this is like all in letter form. The next one is a book that I bought for my dad in 2003. So this has been, then my dad read it and lent it to me, so it's been here for 20 years. So this is actually the oldest book on my TBR. I thought I was reading the oldest book on my TBR at the moment, but this is much longer. This is the memoir of Ricky Tomlinson. Ricky Tomlinson is a comedian and actor in the UK, and he was really famous for a programme called The Royal Family, which was like a different spelling of the word royal, so they weren't anything to do with the actual royal family, and they were sort of a working class family living in the Midlands, I think, or the north of England, and it was really, really good, a really popular sitcom in the sort of early 2000s, and he was also like an activist in the miners' strikes and stuff like that, and so this is supposed to be really good, but I just haven't picked it up. I might have a little flick through and see, because that's undecided at the moment. I then have some sort of more medical type books. So I've got Proof of Heaven by Dr. Eben Alexander, which I've wanted to read for ages, so this is definitely staying. This is about a neurosurgeon who has a near-death experience, and it basically changed everything for him after he had this experience. That's a definite yes. The next one I might, don't know. This is The Butchering Art by Lindsay Fitzharris. This is about Joseph Lister and how he transformed medicine by basically talking about like hand hygiene and germs and stuff like that. This is probably going to be really gory and really fascinating. So again, I'll put that on the maybe. I need to have a little proper look at that one. And then the last one is one that I know, this is one of Sian's books of the year a couple of years ago. So my friend Hannah lent this to me. This is Our Symphony with Animals by Aisha Akhtar, MD. And this is, I think, about, let's have a look. A leader in the field of animal ethics and neurology examines the rich animal connection and how our interspecies empathy enriches our well-being. That one, I think, is again a maybe. Right, so that's that whole shelf. So that's all the books that I've got that are other people's. The bottom shelf won't take very long, so it's just filled with rubbish, really. So I've got a ton of birthday cards here. I've got an old stethoscope. This is like hilarious. What the heck is all this stuff doing on my book trolley? I've got a really cute drawing of Mario that one of the kids drew for me. I think that was Faye, which actually needs to go on display somewhere. I have a leaf. Oh dear. A wheat bag. a yoga block, and then a lot of notepads. So, oh god, everything's going crash. Right, so the journals and the notepads can stay, that's fine. An empty Lush container. All of those bits of other guff can go. So the top shelf isn't ideal either. There's lots of things which shouldn't be on here. Lots of actually sweet little things as well, like that my kids have made for me. So there's photos, again, really dusty. I love these photos. They're of me and my parents when I was a baby. I love these photos, so they're going to stay on there definitely. Right, this is a book cover, so you basically put your book in it so that when it's in your bag it doesn't get damaged. But actually, so this I got from an Etsy store, artisanal Arnie. He used to have a YouTube channel which hasn't posted video for ages. There's like tons of bookmarks in here, which is a nice place to keep them, but it means then that I don't actually use the book cover. Maybe I don't actually need a book cover, I don't know, but it's a nice place to keep my bookmarks together. So they're in there at the moment. Then I've got all of this is stuff that my kids have made for me. Right, so we actually do have some books here. Another card. My daughter makes these, they're really sweet. This used to be a kind of TBR shelf, but now it's just a mess. So I was thinking of reading Six Crimson Cranes earlier this month. I haven't started it yet, but I put that on there for that reason. Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, we are reading as I'm reading to the kids, and so we're on the second book, so that's on there for that reason. This should be on my loan shelf. So my friend from work lent me this, which I am actually excited about. This is a proof copy, I believe. It's called A Fortunate Woman, A Country Doctor's Story. And this is basically the life of a GP. I don't know how long ago. Yeah, I'm sure that would be interesting to me. Then this is a book that my friend Shona got me for my birthday, and I saw her recently and it reminded me that I haven't started it yet and I really want to. So this is the Lunar Living Journal, a guided moon journal to help you find joy, clarity and purpose. I'd really like to know more about like the phases of the moon, and this has got lots of stuff in there about that and lots of sort of journaling prompts and stuff like that. This is a little, I've only read like one of these, I think. This is like a Bronte poetry collection, Everyman Library edition. My friend got me this for Christmas, and it's Emily Bronte's, yeah, so this is Emily's poetry. Right, then I have another borrowed book. Again, this is on the wrong shelf. So this is the Period Repair Manual by Lara Bryden. My friend lent me this because I have horrible PMS, and she thought that this book might be helpful for me to read, and I'm sure anything like this that I read will also benefit my patients as well. So yes, so this is one that I want to read, but probably be a read bits and pieces, not read cover to cover all in one go. I have a few library books. So this is The Book of Joy, which is the Dalai Lama and Desmond Tutu. It's about when they met. This is a large print edition. The print is absolutely massive, and so it's obviously a lot shorter than it looks. But this is when, in April 2015, when these two guys met and shared a lot of their teachings and things. So that one was a spontaneous library borrow that I definitely want to read. The next one, this is one that I saw Lauren from Lauren and the Books haul, and I tried to get it out from my library and they didn't have it, so I asked them to purchase it and they purchased it for me, which is really kind. This is by Crystal Zara Appiah, and I believe this is about two British Ghanaian people called Effie and Sam. So they meet in London in the 90s as teenagers. They become best friends, they get married, everything seems perfect, but Sam wants to start a family and Effie wants to focus on her dreams. Then an unplanned pregnancy forces them to confront how radically different they want their lives to be. That sounds really cool. I love anything that has 90s in it as well, because that's like, I remember the 90s really well, and So I love the sort of cultural references from that period of time. So that's definitely staying on there. And then I have Crow Lake from the library as well, which Mercedes recommended. I think this is a sort of family saga type story when the family are coming back together. So that's all of, well, I think it's kind of all the top shelf. I also have another notebook which can go with the other notebooks. Another notebook that is actually Faye's. And this was one of those quick read books that when I was at the library the other day, the librarian just said, have this, and gave it to me. I have no idea if I actually want to read it. I have my Kindle. So there's these here. Faye drew a picture of like us hugging with a heart, which I just love. So I've kept that on there always. And this little one from 2021, to the sweetest and kindest mum in the world, get well soon, love from Faye. I don't know what was wrong with me then, but I was obviously ill in some way. So that's empty. So I'm going to give it a clean, give it a hoover the space where it was. And then we'll have to have a go at working out what I'm going to do with each shelf and filling it up with books. Hi, so as you can probably tell, it's now the next day. I ran out of time yesterday because we were going to see Elemental at the cinema, which was really good. And by the time we got back, it was tea time, bedtime, etc. So I ran out of time to do this properly yesterday. So what I've done is I have decided to unhaul a few of the books. I'll just show you. So I'm unhauling the quick reads from the reading agency one that I got given at the library. The Rose Tremaine book I'm going to give back to my work colleague. Sally Vickers also going to give back. I don't want to read this after I read The Librarian, didn't really like it. This one, whilst I'm sure it's really interesting, if a book's been on my TBR for 20 years, I really can't be that enthusiastic to read it. This one, I'm sure it's really interesting again, but I'm just not that excited to read it. And the Our Symphony with Animals I'm going to give back because I did flick through it and there was some stuff about animal cruelty in there and I just don't cope well with that at all, so I don't want to read this for that reason. I think it would be too hard for me. So they're the ones that I am giving back. And then what I've done is, I'm just going to move, there we go, that's better. I went through my shelves, I picked off the library books and I just looked through every single shelf on my TBR in my office, and I just picked out a load of books that I think I'm really looking forward to reading at the moment, and I just thought I'd fill my trolley up with those. So I'll just do you a quick show. I've also just put but you can't see it here, my bookmarks are kind of behind some of the books, but everything else is clear. So I'm going to turn the camera around and I'm just going to show you what I have put on each shelf. Okay, so I have at the beginning these ones here, up to Crow Lake, are library books. Harry Potter, I said I'm reading with the children. Heidi is, I got Switzerland for the Women's World Cup readathon. So Heidi is on my TBR anyway, and that's going to be my book choice for that. Then I just have a whole selection here of non-fiction that I just really fancied. So I've got They Can't Kill Us All, which is a history of Black Lives Matter, a Mark Thomas book about Coke, as in the drink, which I've had for a really long time. Lost Connections is about depression. Italian Ways is about Tim Parks moving to Italy and his journeying around Italy on different trains. Crying in H Mart is a memoir. The Period Repair Manual I already talked about. Loving What Is a book by Byron Katie, who's a really wonderful teacher who I got a lot from. This is her book about sort of acceptance and turning around negative thought patterns. And then Ty Whiffenden is a speedway rider, British speedway rider, who I very much like, and that is his memoir. On the second shelf, the Tiger Eyes at the back is my very, very old iPad in its case, just peeking through the shelf. So these are mostly spoiled books. So here we've got the non-fiction up to On Chapel Sands. Then we've got the fiction up to Patrick Gale. Then we start on the books that I just fancied. So Walking on Sunshine by Giovanna Fletcher. I thought that would be a really nice summer read because her books are generally speaking very happy and cheerful. Kristen Hannah the Nightingale. I've wanted to read Kristen Hannah for ages and I just fancied it. And I am double stacking here because there was 4 books that I couldn't fit. Let's see if I can put them back. So there I've got loads of Helen Dunmore that I've never read, but this one's set in Cornwall and we're going to Cornwall soon, so I thought that would be good. I wanted to read The Descendants since I watched the film and since I saw Heather talk about it and really enjoy it. This is an Oprah's Book Club choice. Amber Alderman was my first Richard Powers, but I know he's very much loved on BookTube. And then right at the bottom, so I've got, again, books I'm looking forward to. So I've heard so many amazing things about Boy Swallows Universe, and I've had it for ages. The Things We Lost by Jyoti Patel, I saw her live recently and got her to sign this book, so I'm really looking forward to that. Yellowface, obviously, everyone's reading, and I haven't heard a single bad word about it. We've got an Andrea Levy book, which I have never had anyone talk about. Most of the time, people talk about Small Island or The Long Song, so I'm really looking forward to that. I fancied a Tayari Jones, Silver Sparrow. The Lao Shi book is Mr. Ma and Son. That is a buddy read that I'm doing this month with my friend Jo. The Valley of Horses is the second in the Earth's Children series, which I'm rereading. And then I've got two YA middle grade. I've got Heartstopper, the fourth one, and Pax, which is a book about a fox. So that is what I've done, and I've just left the journals and the notebooks at the end. So thank you very much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope it was fun to watch. It was really fun to do. I've wanted to sort out my book trolley for ages, yeah, it would be really nice to have this selection of books just next to my bed so that I can pick what I want from a selection that I'm especially excited to pick from. And obviously that will be fluid, so if I want to take some books off and put different ones on, that's fine. But anyway, thank you for watching. Obviously, if you've read any of these and you think I should prioritise them over others, then let me know. I hope you're having a lovely week. Bye!